So you found my silly DVD in 2014, and now it's, Jesus, 2023,
yeah.
And you are a multi-millionaire. And you're gonna die of cancer.
Well, you gotta die something.
I love you, man. Everyone was telling me 100 years ago, you have to meet Peter Mayberry. And I hear that all the time. I'm like, oh, all right, whatever. And then when your name was just coming up over and over on Facebook mostly,
yeah.
I looked at your Facebook, and your Facebook was literally this little douche with like this tiny little guy who has an AR-15 in his hand. And I was like, what? And then I looked at my phone, and your name was in my phone. And I thought, oh my God, 2014, and I have thousands of people in my phone. So you were a consultation in my phone in 2014. And then I called you, and I was, wait a minute, who is this man? Why is he so prevalent in the laundromat? I hate to say industry as much as I hate it. And you're like literally crushing, just destroying. No one likes you. Everyone hates your guts.
They do, like a lot of people like
yeah,
me.
and that's why I thought, who is this guy? And then what happened next? Who are you? How do you know me? Why are you Peter Mayberry?
The truth is, like, I know you from, like I said, I was making a bunch of commission when I worked for GE, and I was like, I did the 401k thing, and I was doing the stock thing.
So you had a really, really good
yeah, great job. I made $400,000 a year.
400 grand. How do you live on that?
It's fucking tough in Nebraska.
Wait a minute.
I mean, it's not like California.
No. Don't lie. That's really good money.
In Nebraska,
really
it's tremendous.
Money. So you had a nice house,
yeah,
a nice wife, a nice kid, a nice dog. $400,000. This is like 2014.
Yep.
And you wanted something. I'm not going to put word. You wanted something more, maybe. I don't know.
So I actually.
Why laundromats? Like.
I thought laundromats were something I could run while I worked a job, and I also thought that the worst case scenario breaks even, and I own the building because I was buying a building. I was like, if it makes the payment for the building, I'll eventually own a building. Buildings that you can double in value every 7 to 8 years. So I'm like, it was almost like a mini retirement account. I buy it for $150,000 down. You know, I think it was like $600,000.
Did you have any real estate at this point?
A house.
Okay, one house.
Yep.
Okay, your home, your primary residence.
Yep.
Okay, nice house, beautiful house.
I mean, it was probably. It was better than median average, but it wasn't like extravagant. I mean,
all right.
Like I said, I'd only started making really good money, so it wasn't like I'd been making it for years.
Yeah.
Didn't know how long it would last. I was in sales, commission based.
So you want, like a lot of people, something more.
Yeah, well, and like I said, I also just wanted something to put the money in because, like I said, everybody said stocks, and when I did it, like I didn't know anything about stocks. I grew up really poor, and like I put all this money in stocks, and like the stock market crashed like 40%, and I'm like, holy shit, like all my money is just gone, right? Like so, I mean, eventually, and I didn't sell it, so it actually came back because I didn't use that money and sell it to take out the stock market. But I was just like, this isn't the right thing to put my money in. So I was looking for something different, and everybody I worked with owned businesses and they owned commercial real estate. So I was like, well, I mean, these guys run a business and they have commercial real estate, and they're all doing really great.
So you found
your
what?
DVD. Your DVD. It was a DVD.
DVD.
That's what it was at the time. I think you actually had some YouTube videos too that were talking about the DVD.
So back in that time, bring me back then. You're looking at my on YouTube, and you're like, is this like a real? Is this a real thing? Like, do you remember? Can you go back to that time and realize, like, you're watching me on YouTube and thinking, I mean, come on, is this real?
So I'll actually, the funny thing that, and like a story that people don't really know is, like, I actually did call you, and I started going around, and I found out that half the laundromats in Omaha were actually owned by the person operating the laundromat, and the other ones, when they'd I remember a guy hanging up the phone, slamming it down on me, and like, I remember what really clicked for me is like, the people that owned them didn't want to sell because they owned the building, and the people that were renting didn't want, like, nobody wanted to sell, and like they didn't want to talk to me about numbers. And I was like, well, how fucking good are these doing when people won't even consider selling them? And like, so first of all, I was like, oh, I want to find a free laundromat. And I'm like, shit, I don't even know if I need one because I can't. I waited a year and a half. There wasn't a single laundromat that went for sale in Omaha, which it was underserved, and it's starting to get overserved now because me and another guy have built 12 laundromats. But so now it's kind of getting right sized. But at the time, it was way underserved, and like that's why nobody would sell, because they didn't have to do shit. They didn't have to keep a clean store, but people had to use them because it was just such a underserved market. Like there was not even near enough.
No one does it right.
Supply for demand.
No one does it right.
Yeah, no one was doing it right, correct. And that's why when I started building them, I was siphoning off like tons. But I also know when I built my first 3 stores, nobody went out of business. Like I took all this business and still not a single laundromat went for sale. But like I said, now we got 12. There's laundromats for sale in Omaha. That's because they're dying because me and the other guy have crushed them.
You crushed everyone else.
Yeah, there's plenty for sale now.
Is a free laundromat a real thing?
It's a real thing. I've had 2. I sold them, and the reason I sold both is I actually got both of them with the real estate. I actually got 2 free laundromats with the real estate. I basically just took over the note. But essentially, I sold them, like one made $24,000 a year and one made $30,000, and I just got to a point where, like, I don't want to sound like an asshole, and I'm not trying to be a prick, but it wasn't worth the fucking time for that money. Like I had laundromats that were making 10 times that, and I just didn't want to spend the time on those and to retool them. And like they said, they weren't the best demographics. Like when I built a laundromat, I built in the best possible demographic. These were built where a guy could afford the rent or afford the building and do it.
Dude, this fucking guy, you know what? And meeting him, everyone I know is saying, meet Peter Mayberry, meet Peter Mayberry. And this fucking guy is exactly my best friend, and we have really become good friends. And you know, it's money is not a mystery.
It's not.
It's not. When you look back, you had a job and you did really, really well. I did the same thing. We had really good jobs, and then we realized the job is always just over broke. It's always making someone else money.
Yeah, you buy a little better house, you buy a little better car, but you don't. When you start a business, you start making so much money you can't fucking buy a good enough car or good enough. I bought 2 boats because I can't even buy a big enough boat.
A bigger wife, a bigger, come here, honey. A bigger wife, a bigger, but the laundromat cash, like the cash money. Here we go. I bought Danny's stupid DVD in 2014. Tell him.
So I say, I bought this guy's DVD in 2014. I'm gonna make a better DVD.
Yeah, do it. Do it. Go ahead.
DVD. You always make money about the DVD.
I love you, man. I love him and so many others that I truly have love for these people, because they email me, they call me, they talk to me, and they have changed lives with laundromat money. Millions of fucking dollars.
Oh, yeah.
Millions.
I'm pretty sure this hot water heater's got a few more good years left in it.